Hi, everyone. Kathy Rose here. I want to talk to you about the new moon in Capricorn happening January 11th, 2024 at 6:57 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. In this video, I'm also going to talk to you about the full moon in Leo. So we're going to cover both lunations happening in January. Let's begin with the one in Capricorn. And you see the Capricorn mandala on screen, which clearly illustrates the practical, structured, strategic energy that we have with this cardinal earth sign. I have to say something about the entire month of January, but particularly what we're going to be feeling during this new moon in Capricorn. And that is what I call a Plutonian adjustment. And I have on screen an image of a spine. And I want you to think about if and when you've ever gone to the chiropractor, and if you've ever had one of the fabulous adjustments where you have the crack and all of a sudden you feel aligned again. There is such an amazing feeling when you go from being out of alignment to back in alignment. And in a sense, that's what we're having for humanity, and certainly within our own sense of self and our own soul. We're having an adjustment, an alignment that takes place, a crack that gets us into a new flow. And that is because Pluto is starting off in January at the anaretic degree of Capricorn, the 29th degree, and then moving into Aquarius on January 20th. So an adjustment does need to take place, and you might feel that resounding crack through your system as you come into alignment. Imagine it, feel it, sense it, and be aware of it. Let's look at the chart for the new moon in Capricorn. On January 11th, Sun and Moon will be conjunct at 20 degrees Capricorn. And as you look at the chart, if you look over here in the first house, you're going to see that Pluto is at 29 degrees. It's a little wide for a conjunction, but we have to know those energies are working together. At the same time, as you see annotated in red on the chart, we're going to have Neptune squaring Mercury. And Mercury is still in Sagittarius. Now, I have some Mercury key dates on screen here because Mercury is now completing its transit in Sagittarius. So it was at the same degrees, around 27 degrees in late November. I'm saying this in case you have planets in your natal chart in late Sagittarius, because if you do, let's say even between 25 degrees Sagittarius and the end of that sign, then you will have received a lot of contact from Mercury. And as Mercury reactivates where it was in late November, it hit it again in late December, and now in mid-January, it's completing. You may be finding that you are revisiting things that you started in those moments, that there is a completion, that there is a coming together. And even if you don't have planets in late Sagittarius, you might be just feeling that random threads are now being woven together into a pattern because of this completion from Mercury. But it's square Neptune at the time of this lunation. And that offers us a beautiful opportunity to merge spirituality and abstract thinking with the practicality of Capricorn. In this next slide, I have this yin yang where it says idealism and realism. And this lunation, this new moon in Capricorn, offers us this opportunity to balance realism and idealism. So the Mercury square Neptune is more the idealism, it's the creative, it's the flowing, it's the abstract. And the realism is all that Capricorn energy. And when those two are in balance, we can do magical things spiritually, because we take the idealistic, more Neptunian spiritual focus of affirmations, creating our own reality, intuition, all of those things which are so incredibly active right now, and we bring them into our reality and manifest, which is realism. I like to say that this new moon in Capricorn is about understanding Divine law works every single time. And there are moments we all get to when we are feeling pressured, when we may have spiraled into disappointment or a little bit of hopelessness from time to time, when things get heavy in life. Been there, done that, right? And you re-engage your affirmations, you start your visualizations, you start your prayer work. But there's that moment where you're doing your affirmations and you're wondering, oh, is it really going to work? It seems so hopeless right now. And then you keep doing it. And then all of a sudden you manifest. And in the manifestation moment, you go, oh, of course it worked. It works every single time. Why did I let myself doubt? I've gone through that many times. And I try to remember if I've spiraled into a pressured moment, if I've spiraled into a time when I'm not seeing clearly and I need to re-engage that positivity. Because life comes in waves and we all have ups and downs that take place. But I try to remember it works every single time. Divine law, if it worked once, it will work again and again and again and again. We need to remember that when we engage our creative visualizations, when we state our affirmations, we do bring about a new reality. And so this new moon in Capricorn is bringing this balance together. I love it. I think that is so incredibly important to understand the structure of how divine law works. And with that, with all this Capricorn energy going on, with Pluto at that anaretic degree, creating a sense of pressure with this adjustment, this Plutonian adjustment in our DNA taking place, we have to remember to look for signs of love. Actively watch for them showing up as symbols. This photo is it's a moss heart that I saw as I was hiking on a trail at a state park here in Virginia Beach. And I thought to myself when I saw it, it literally stopped me in my tracks. And I snapped this photo with my phone. And I thought, my God, the ways that the universe shows me signs of love. If I'm in a pressured period, if I'm not in a good mood, it's like the universe always ends up showing me some sort of sign of love. Now, I love hearts, so that's one way that the universe speaks to me. But what I'm saying is look for them. This 29th degree of Pluto in Capricorn, it does carry some pressure and a little bit of heaviness as we are waiting for it to move in to Aquarius and make that shift. So look for these signs of love. Watch for the symbols the universe sends to you because you will be seeing them in many, many ways. Now, as we move on later in the month to the full moon in Aquarius, which is going to take place January 25th, 12:54 p.m. Eastern Time. This is an incredible full moon because Pluto will have moved into Aquarius on the 20th of January. And you see that Sun and Pluto will be conjunct 5 degrees apart during this full moon, opposite the moon in Leo. And these are squaring Jupiter in Taurus. So the red annotation in the chart is showing this T-square. This is actually quite wonderful and quite positive because it brings in the enthusiasm and the confidence again, and the leadership, the inner leadership that we all need to direct our thoughts where we want them to go. So this moon in Leo for the full moon is about connecting with our inner authority and really connecting with our inner discipline and our commitment to leading ourselves. This is a beautiful full moon. And you may find that you are refilled with enthusiasm as this lunation is taking place. And at the same time, if you look over here, you're going to see the 3 planets in Capricorn still, Venus, Mercury, and Mars. And in my 2024 forecast that I did with Pam Gregory, I talked about the fact that this time frame in January and then in early February for a bit, if you in your natal chart have angles if you have Capricorn on one of your angles. So that would mean if you have Capricorn rising or on your fourth house cusp, your seventh house cusp, or your 10th, which would be the IC descendant or midheaven, then you are going to be receiving a lot of activation from these little bell triggers, which would be Mercury, Venus, and Mars. So this is a good time frame for you because it's going to be activating movement in your life. But even if you don't have Capricorn on an angle, we have this mixture happening at this full moon in Aquarius between the practical and between the humanitarian, heartfelt, enthusiastic energy of this new phase that is coming in. Again, the realism and idealism carries for the entire month. So I'm looking forward to this full moon in Aquarius, this bright, sunny moon in Leo, activating our heart chakra and activating the part of us that knows we can impact our life and has the confidence to do so. I wanted to share with you this image. This is an image, this is a painting my friend Liza did, and I helped her with it. So we did this together. And it's a portal. It is a being standing in a portal. I like this one because it's like stepping out into a new phase. That's the symbolism of this. And it says flow into eternal creation. And I think that this particular painting symbolizes so much of what that full moon in Leo is about. And you can gaze at that and you can think to yourself, you see this being there holding a light, holding a flame, and stepping out into a new phase. I just wanted to share that because art speaks to me symbolically, and this seems to summarize that full moon in Leo to me. All right, so the final thoughts. I've been a Reiki master since 1988. I used to teach Reiki a lot for many, many years. I don't teach it so much now, but I do Reiki every single day for many, many, many of my clients. I have a list. And not only do I send Reiki out to many of my clients, but I will send Reiki to the earth. The hand position you see here, one hand on top of the other, is the position I use when I do distance Reiki. Even if you haven't been trained in Reiki, this sense of putting your hands one on top of the other and then putting a person or the earth inside and imagining that you've created a healing chamber of light flowing in between your hands is extremely powerful. And it doesn't matter if you've gone through Reiki training or any other healing training, because I think it all comes from the same source. But my final thoughts would be to understand you are unlimited. Energy is energy. We're entering a profound awareness of how quantum physics plays into spirituality. So that when I put a person in between my hands like this and I send them Reiki, it is that sense of my focus on that person in my hands, even if they are on the other side of the world. And I do send Reiki to people all over the world. That energy inside my hands is affecting them. And the same thing is if you put the earth in your hands and consider sending healing energy. You don't have to call it Reiki, just sending life force to the entire planet, to every person, every plant, every animal, all the waterways, every single part of the earth can receive life force instantly. I'm saying this because I've been doing this for so long. To me, it's normal. I know I can send healing energy, life force to the entire planet, and I know it's real. I've had experiences and I've done it long enough that I don't question it anymore. If you've never done this, I invite you to please expand your consciousness to know there are no limits. You can channel life force, your intention, your actions. So I wanted to share this image because it is a great time to be helping the world with this spiritual adjustment that is taking place. the chiropractic adjustment in our DNA, the chiropractic adjustment in our soul that is making a loud crack that is helping our expansion and helping humanity move forward. All right, so these are the two lunations in January. I send you much love and many, many blessings. I hope your new year is starting off wonderfully. And I will see you in February for the February forecast. Bye for now.